Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to discuss some units of computer, features and objective, and some characteristics of computers and the history of computers. In this unit, I will introduce you the computer and its uses, capabilities and limitation of computers, classification of computers, types of computers, history of evolution of computers, basic operation of computers, organization of computers. When you have completed this unit, you must be able to explain what is computer, basic units of computer and their purpose, how computer works, features of computers, uses of computers, types of computers, generations of computers, application of computers, basic computers operation. Now we will discuss some characteristics of computers. Some features of computers are high speed, reliability and accuracy, large memory, logical decision making, versatility, automation and diligence. First feature of computer is a high speed. The speed of personal computer measured in terms of megahertz, millions of clock cycles per second. Most modern microcomputers are rated 300 MHz to 2 GHz. A typically 800 MHz computer takes a very small fraction of second to complete a one cycle. Normally, several clock cycles are required to fetch a single instruction from memory, decoded and executed. The speed of workstation, mainframe, personal computer is measured in terms of millions of instructions per second. This computer operates in the range 20 to 1000 MIPS. Typically, a 100 MIPS computer can execute 100 million of instructions per second. The speed of supercomputer is measured in terms of floating point operation per second, or flops. Floating points number include very small or very large number. Supercomputer operates at a speed 500 gigaflops to 3 teraflops. A gigaflops is billion flops and a gigaflops equal to 1 trillion flops. Second and the most important features of computer is reliability and accuracy. The results of computers are highly reliable and precise. Second, precise computer maintain accuracy prevent a millisecond, microsecond, nanosecond, picosecond or any level required precision to mathematical calculation. High reliability and accuracy it because on a computer works electrical pulses rarely fail to convey information, maintain especially in repetitive errors. Organizations provide backup computer automatic takeover. The main computer fears disaster recovery system. Other features of computer is a large memory. Other features of computer is a large memory. It used to store data, information, temporarily or permanently. Temporarily memory only referred to random access memory or RAM. This is used temporarily store program to the currently executing on your system. The contents of RAM are erased when the power is off. Normally, the size of temporarily memory is measured in terms kilobytes and megabytes. Permanently memory is used to permanently store large repositories of data. User programs applications like MS Office and operating system like MS Windows or Unix. The permanent memory release switch on. The permanent memory is release switch on the computer. Large amounts of data can be stored on permanent storage devices. The logical making has ability to take decision special circuits to perform logical operation. Logical operation included comparison, greater than or less than, etc. Computer is also capable to comparing text, images, and even audio. Computers is versatility machine. It is capable of solving a variety of problems. The use of personal computer considerably grown. Communication, multimedia, scientific research, designing, engineering, education, and entertainment. Another removal of computer is automation. That ability to perform operation automatically when computer is switched on. This automatically executes instruction to check all peripheral devices. Loads the operation system and provide interface to the users without human interaction. Computer is a diligent machine. It never feels tiredness. You can complete different jobs or a single task repeatedly without loss of position. Computers are widely used versatility, or computers have term limitation. The first limitation of computer is lack of intelligence. Although a computer can perform a logical operations at a very fast speed, but it is not able to think like a human. Computers need natural environment like smooth operation is operate in dust-free environment to understand binary codes, zeros, ones, and their combinations, but not commonly used by humans, especially softwares, interpreters, compilers, and also convert natural language to computer language. The quest for a mechanical servant that can feed people's tedious aspect of thinking is centuries old. It thus reviewed introduction of abacus some 5,000 years ago. It is considered a manual counting device, and it is term used to deduction to demonstrate a principle of arithmetic. So now we will discuss the contribution of scientists, professionals, and students to contribute into his marvel in modern age. In 1642, French mathematician and philosopher Blaise Pascal invented Pascaline. It is used like telephone dials used to revolve to make calculations. In 1801, French weaver Joseph Marie Jacquard, who created Jacquard loom, perched cards movement of needles, thread, and fabric to create different patterns on a fabric on a loom known as Jacquard webs. It is made by different scientists across the world. In 1842, Charles Babbage introduced difference engine invented. An analytical engine, it was a genuine purpose computer that could add, subtract, divide, and multiply or automatic sequence. It obvious speed of 60 addition per second. The idea of Babbage that further improved by Ada Augusta Lovelace. She proposed the first card reviewed the instruct Babbage. engine to perform repetitive tasks, and she is considered as a part of first programmer. In 1890, Dr. Hermann Hollerith developed the first electromechanical punch card tabulating machine. Hand punch was used to enter data into cards or sorter box that used to read unsort discard. Hollerith is also a founder of tabulating machine company that later on became IBM. A punch card devices that introduced from 1920 to 1950. The electromechanical accounting machine family, including card punch, verifier, reproducer, summary punch, interpreter, sorter, collector, and counting machines. The first modern digital computer, a Thanasoft Berry computer, was built in Iowa State University in 1939 and 1942. The developing him as John Atanasoff, professor of physics and mathematics, a graduate student Clifford Berry. In the early 40s, the first electromechanical computer, Mark I, was developed by Harvard University professor Howard Aiken. IBM, expensive, a development by huge machine. In 1946, first large-scale digital computer, the electronic numerical integrator and computer, was developed John Maury and John Presper Eckert in engineering. Moore School of Electrical Engineering, the University of Pennsylvania. ENIAC was also prepared firing and bombing in the U.S. Army and Navy. The ENIAC has 30 separate units, the power supply and air cooling system, weight 30 tons, use 19,000 vacuum tube. Where are you? 1,500 relays, 100 of thousands of resistors, capacitors, and inductors that required a large amount of electricity. It could perform 5,000 addition per minute and 100 multiplication per minute. Another important digital computer in history was Colossus I. It was paired secret government research establishment in England under the direction of Professor Max Newman. It was designed to break German Enigma codes during the World War II. It could scan and analyze 5,000 characters per second. Colossus became operational during December 1943 and proved to be one of the most important technological aids to victory in the World War II. In 1949, EDSAC was introduced, this pack of storing computer program, and in 1950, EDVAC was developed. It could store instructions, required less physical effort. In 1951, first universal automatic computer was Maudslay and Eckert vacuum tube. John von Neumann programmed data memory, introduced binary system, arithmetic, logical operation. In 1959, Dr. Grace Hopper conceived the idea of COBOL programming language. It was a general-purpose English-like programming language that's still used by many organizations. She developed a compiler that translated programs written in COBOL. She's also a pioneer first real bug in a computer programmer's debug softwares. Define errors or bugs in the program's second generation computer was introduced during 1959. This refers using transistor instead of vacuum tubes. This computer is more powerful, reliable, less expensive, and smaller in size. In the early 60s, the large company are producing mainframe computer. In 1963, DEC introduced PDP-8. It was a transistor-based mini computer, a business and scientific applications. In 1970, a manufacturing computers. Technology was probably changing. The third generation computer was introduced in 1964. This computer will use large-scale integrated circuits or LSIC. IBM developed System 360 ideal of upward capability that allowed companies to upgrade computer system without converting their data. The such development in hardware technology and developing the techniques to interact with a computer to perform a variety of tasks. In 1960 was a Dr. Thomas Kurtz and Dr. Johann Kemeny started developing a programming language and introduced basic programming language in 1964. It became a popular programming language for business and scientific application. During 1971, fourth generation computer was introduced. The introduction of integrated circuits. This was significant innovation in the history of computing. During early 70s, Bill Gates and Paul Allen was developed games, personal computers, and introduced basic programming language. And most influential software firm, Microsoft Corporation, both revolutionized the personal computing of Microsoft disk operating system. Personal computers were not able. Apple 11 personal computer was introduced in 1975. This was a prominent inventor by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. In 1981, IBM personal computer introduced IBM Personal, and many personal computer was sure by end during 1982. The use of personal computer is considerably increased in business. Tremendous need and business software. Mr. Kapoor established Lotus Development Company. Lotus Corporations introduced electronic spreadsheet application that pursued sales of IBM PC and Lotus 123. The credit for today's friendly, easy-to-use point, graphical user interface, goes to Apple Computer, GUI, human-computer interaction from text-based exchange mode to friendly web interface. During the last 2 decades, Unix, Microsoft Windows, Sun Solaris, Apple Macintosh, and many other graphical user interface operating systems were introduced. During the last few years, the tremendous advancement in microprocessor technology and in personal computer operates and speeds into 2 GHz peripheral devices. Most powerful supercomputers, mainframe, minis based on rise and size computer technology, and available speeds beyond imagination. So that is all, and thank you.